Welcome to A Leader's Journey, the podcast for leaders who deeply believe there is a better way to lead and desire to create their unique journey towards becoming a legacy leader. I'm your host, Shannon Hammond. Over the last 20 years as a corporate leader and leadership performance coach, I've learned that many leaders believe there is a predefined path they have to follow and struggle leaning into their unique gifts that will create lasting impact and fulfillment. They end up feeling stuck, unhappy, and unfulfilled in the day-to-day of their role, and are challenged with why, since they have experienced success in their career and in life. I'm here to help leaders think through their leadership journey, learn how to ask themselves better questions, and learn the formula to create their leadership journey by design. If you are ready to design your unique leadership journey, lead with confidence, and love the teams you lead, then you are in the right place. Let's do this. Hello, my friends and fellow leaders. Welcome to A Leader's Journey. I'm your host, Shannon Hammond, and I'm glad to have you back here with me this week on the podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. I know that your time is valuable, and I'm grateful that you have chosen to spend some of it here with me today. And I want to give you a big high five for taking the time to invest in your development as a leader. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend an in-person event with my coach and the mastermind community that she has created for us. To say that it was an incredible and life-changing event is an understatement. I could feel the entire time that I was there that something was shifting inside of me. And it was the event that I didn't really know that I needed. I felt like the real me for the first time in a long time, like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. And that was all because I had the opportunity to be around the most incredible group of women leaders. So today on the podcast, I wanted to talk about in-person events. I'm going to share with you some of the things that we did at the event that I attended. And then I want to share with you why I think that you need to be attending in-person events as a leader. So let's talk about the event that I attended. Now, I do want to say that for my event, it did require travel outside of my home state. I went to New York, so it did require, airline travel and overnight stays in a hotel, which I know isn't possible for everybody to do. Yet, if you have that opportunity, take it and do it. I have no regrets. I think that it was a valuable use of my time and my money, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. The event that I attended was a day and a half, and it was a day and a half of just valuable content. Yes, our agenda was packed, and one of the things that I appreciated about my coach in that event was she just trusted in the energy of the room and saw where things were going and really let the event flow very naturally for us. We started off doing some personal development and some work on ourselves because that is an important part of what we are all working on. And it's important that we really take that time to grow as leaders and coaches. We talked about our human design and different aspects of that, and we were able to work together in small groups where we had aspects of our human design in common, and we got to share how it was showing up for us, and we got to listen to how it showed up for others. And it was this incredible conversation and collaboration where a part of it made you not feel like you were alone, especially for someone like me who part of my design is really leaning into and learning through trial and error. That can be very frustrating sometimes, especially when you're doing something and it doesn't work. Okay, let's try again and we got to tweak this. Okay, let's try again and we got to tweak that. And to really look into the beauty of it and how that serves me as a leader and the knowledge and the skills that I build through that, and hearing how that showed up for other coaches was really affirming that there is a great way to leverage the different aspects of who you are and how when something might be challenging, to look at the gifts that it's actually giving you, because they are worth every single challenge. The gifts that I get in experimenting, they're worth some of the frustration that I may feel, or having to do things multiple times to really get it to where it is that I desire it. I can see the growth in myself, and I was able to hear that from others as well, of how they were growing through that. We did a lot of masterminding and being able to talk with each other about our coaching businesses. What were the things that were going well, and where did we find wins, and the things that we were able to find success in? And we also were able to talk about our challenges. What wasn't going so well? Where were we most stuck within our business? And we got to talk in small groups about that and solicit advice from others, which was awesome to be able to get 6 to 7 other women's perspective on where I was stuck. And some of them were able to share that they had been stuck in that same place before, or we got to listen to see where might we get stuck in the future, because maybe I'm not as far ahead as some of the other ladies that were at the table. I was able to walk away with some tangible action items that, since the event, I have been able to contemplate a little bit deeper to implement into my coaching practice. And I'm excited to see what the results of that turns out to be over the course of the next month or 2 months as it continues to develop in my business. But it was really great to be able to sit around a table of like-minded people who were all working on the same things, and really be able to get some tangible guidance. A lot of times we sit and we are working on our leadership or our businesses or whatever projects that we are. We're sitting in our homes behind our computers by ourselves, trying to do it all solo. And leadership and business and coaching, they're not meant to be done alone. They're meant to be done in groups. And to know that I had a group of women who was just as committed to my success as I was to theirs, to offer that guidance, was really refreshing. One of the things that I really one of the things that I feel like was valuable in that event was it really gave me a room of women that I could talk about personal development, building a business, human design, mindset work, share the books I'm reading that I'm really excited about. And they got it. They understood, because they were doing some of the same work that I do, or they're just as excited about personal development and human design and the things that we're learning together. And we don't always get rooms where we can talk about these things with people who are doing the same work or who enjoy the same type of work. And it was energizing and refreshing to sit there and know that I didn't have to kind of hide my personal development or my passion around my personal development, that I can share it, be excited about it, and the person that I was talking to was going to be just as equally excited about it. And if you know anything about me, I love personal development. I love reading books. I love telling people about the things that I am reading in my books. And so to have a group of women that were just as excited and geeked out about it as I did was fantastic. I will tell you that my biggest takeaway from the event was the relationships that I built. When I tell you that this was a room of incredible women, I am I'm not doing them justice. There are women there that are serving veterans, that are serving mothers and families. And we were all able to come together, and the relationships that I've built, I can say that these are women that I will stay in connection and friendship with for as long as I can, probably forever, because they're just women who are willing to put themselves out there, to be vulnerable, to embrace each other, to cheer each other on, and to really just want to have an incredible, meaningful relationship with you. And so I am grateful for the relationships that I've built. We've stayed in contact with each other. We're working to hold each other accountable, whether that's in small groups or in larger groups. We're continuing the conversations that we've had at the event. And that is the difference maker right there. I've attended many events in the past, and a lot of times what ends up happening, and I'm sure that you can relate to this as well, is that you go to the event, you're energized, you're excited, you have all these great takeaways. You get back in the office, you start checking email, and you just get back to your normal everyday routine. And everything that you did at the event stayed at the event. You lose sight of it and you never go back to it. Or it may be months down the road before you're like, you know what? I want to go back and look at that. And this one is different. I have read my notes that I took at the event multiple times. It's part of my regular check in process each day and each week. Again, being able to continue the conversation of the things that we talked about and were excited about at the event is really helping to keep it fresh in my mind, to give me something that's holding me accountable to implementing the things that I committed to. And it's 2 weeks after the event. And normally at this time, I couldn't even tell you what it is that we talked about. This is different. I remember the event like it was yesterday. I remember the conversations that we had like it was yesterday. And I can already feel within myself that this one is really going to be the life-changing event for me. The one that takes me places that I never imagined that I could go. One of the things that I shared with the group was, for me, it was kind of like I found my cheers. Right, and I'm probably gonna age myself a little bit. If you know the TV show, part of their theme song was, "It's a place you go where everybody knows your name, and you're always glad that you came," and I can say that about this group of ladies. I am so glad that I went to the event. It was great to connect with people who I had seen on Zoom, who knew who I was, who I knew who they were, and some new faces that I was able to meet, and I am really glad that I took the time out of my day and invested in myself and went to that event. I would do it again, like I said, in a heartbeat. If she said she had another event coming up in a month, I would be there. So I want to encourage you to do the same and to find that group of people for you and to find events that you can attend. Leadership is all about connection, and there is nothing more impactful than meaningful in-person connection. As a leader, you need to be in rooms with other leaders, especially if you are new to the role. This is going to give you opportunities for collaboration, for connection, for relationship building to really accelerate your growth as a leader. Yes, you can do it through video messaging. It is not the same as being there shoulder to shoulder with somebody and the intimate level of conversations that you get to have. Which leads me into why I think that you need to attend in-person events. You've heard me mention some of these things as I was sharing about the event that I attended, but I want to break it down into really 4 reasons why I think you need to go. Reason number 1 is it's going to allow you to collaborate with other leaders, especially those who are outside of your organization and your industry. When you're able to do that, you get fresh, new ideas and perspectives. You get to leverage the different experiences that other leaders have and figure out how you can intertwine those experiences to your own individual leadership journey. Like I said, in the room that I was in, there was a wide array of coaches, and we served very different communities. There was a couple others who served leaders as well in the corporate space, like I like to, yet they were looking at it differently. Some of them were more working more with executive level leaders, or they were working with leaders in a very specific industry, and being able to hear the things that they're working on, hear the conversations that they've been having with their clients, some of the challenges that they faced, some of the things that they want to bring forward, it opened my eyes to a whole other variety of options that I can explore within my coaching and how I can better serve new leaders. So you want to get around those people that are not having the same exact conversations about the same exact business topics in the same exact way that you are having them in your organization. Your organization is very siloed, and you need to break out of that to hear what's going on in the business world and not just in that small little glimpse that your organization holds. Another reason that I think you need to be in in-person events is you need to be around people smarter than you. This is something that I have always believed, and you hear it talked about a lot in the personal development space. They say that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And it's something that I've always believed. It is true, right? You never want to be the smartest person in a room. And in that room last week, and I say this not to undersell my skills or my knowledge or my intelligence by any means, I was not even close to the smartest person in that room. I would probably put myself in the bottom half or bottom quarter of that room. The women in that room were incredible. They have accomplished incredible things. The areas of their expertise and their mastery were different than mine. And it was phenomenal having conversations with them. I learned so much from just casual conversation or intentional conversation with each of them. And it really made me think about the things that I was contributing and was I doing it in a way that added value? And how could I continue to build and level up my communication skills? And how can I show up differently as a leader? Being around them made me feel smarter. It made me want to better myself in every single interaction. So, you as a leader, especially a new leader, need to be around these people because this is going to help you grow as a leader. It's going to help you develop and it will help you identify some gaps that you might have, but maybe don't realize either that you have them or help you look at that in a whole different way that can help you take that experience to an even higher level. All right, reason number 3 is your own growth. Leaders need to be consistently investing in their growth and development. It never ends. I'm 20 years into a leadership role, and I can tell you that I take more time now to invest in my development as a leader than I did when I first started. And that's because I see the value. I have seen it pay off for me in so many ways. You need to be constantly growing because every single year you're a different person. You're a different leader. You have different things that you need to be working on. Or even if you are working on the same things, you're taking those up a notch and continuing to elevate your skill in that area. So, getting around other leaders is going to allow you to continue to grow. Now, I am all for in house development. I am going to tell you that you need to take every opportunity that your organization offers you to invest in your development as a leader. And if you want to grow in new levels, you need to seek development outside of the company that you work for. Leaders need to stop waiting for permission and stop waiting for your company to pay for your development. You need to take the reins, take the responsibility for it, and go and seek it outside of your organization. Your organization probably has a phenomenal leadership development program, or at least I hope that they do. Yet they've partnered with either one company or they have one set of tools in their toolbox that they use because they believe those are the best tools for their organization. And I'm not going to tell you that they're not great tools. I've done many of the programs that my companies have offered me in the past. I've taken the assessments and I've gotten something out of every single one of them. Where I have experienced the most growth and where I have broadened my perspective on my development as a leader is doing the programs outside of my company. I am seeing different things that are out there in the business world. I am able to find the tools and the resources that work best for me. And again, going back to my first point, I'm connecting with leaders that are not in my organization that took a different path, that learned a different way, that read different books, listened to different podcasts. And the books that I continue to pick up, they're not ones that were recommended by my company. They're ones that were recommended by people that I had built relationships with from attending events. There's one book in particular that my coach recommended to us several years back, and I've read it 5 times since then because it is incredible and it's really helping me work on an area that I really need to continue to work on for myself as I elevate my leadership. That book has never come up in the 26 years that I have worked in the corporate space. Not one person has recommended that book to me, yet it was written like 70, maybe even 100 years ago. Um, so you need to get out there and broaden the horizons of your development and be connecting with leaders who can give you that different perspective and see how far you really can grow. You are limited by the container that your organization has you in, and that is not a fault of theirs. It's just the reality of it. And being able to get outside of that is going to help you grow further. Now, the last reason is and probably the most important reason, it's the relationship building that you will get to do. Your success as a leader is only as good as the relationships that you have built. You've heard me say this quote from John Maxwell many times before, and you're going to hear me say it many times again. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. You need to build relationships in order to have influence. The business world is changing. Community and connections and relationships is where it is heading, and attending in-person events gives you that opportunity to build the community connection and relationships. And when you do that in person, it is very different than doing it online. You never know when you're going to need to tap into your network. So you want to make sure that your network and the relationships that you have built through your network are powerful, that they are there to support you and that you are there to support them. You might be looking to explore a new job opportunity, whether it's in your organization and you're trying to move to another level of leadership, or if you decided that you needed to make a pivot and explore roles outside of your organization. Your network is going to be the first place that you go. And if you don't have strong relationships with your network, they're not going to be able to help support you in the way that you need. You might be looking to hire for a very specific skill within your company. And you're going to need to go to your network to see who do they know that's a high quality candidate that is going to be perfect for what it is that you are looking for. I think of software implementations. If you're implementing a new software program, it's going to be new to everybody within your organization. Many of them, probably almost all of them, are not going to have experience at the level and the expertise that you need. So you're going to need to seek that from outside your company. And what a better place to go than the people that you have built relationships for. You might be pivoting some things within your team. And again, you might need to hire for a specific skill. I think of learning and development groups. You might be expanding your learning and development group within your organization, and you need an expert at facilitation or an expert at curriculum design, and you don't have that person already within your organization. You're going to go to your network to find them. And again, if you haven't been fostering those relationships, you're not going to get the referrals that you need. You might also be having those conversations with people that you've built relationships for and find out that they're looking for a particular skill set in a candidate, or they're looking for a particular person to add to their organization, or even personally. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to different events and just in conversation with others, they talk about a challenge that they're having at home. And I can refer one of my friends who I know has built a very successful business, has the skill set in that area. There's somebody that I trust to do work on my own home, and I can refer them to somebody within my network at that event. And a lot of times people are going to trust that if it's somebody that I would trust to do work on my own home, they know that I'm not sending them someone who isn't going to produce high quality work. So those are the 4 reasons that I believe you need to attend in-person events. And let's recap them. 1, it's going to allow you to collaborate with other leaders, especially those outside of your organization and your industry. It's going to allow you to be in rooms with people that are smarter than you. It is an ideal and a great way to invest in your growth and development as a leader. And last, but again, most certainly not least, it's the relationship building that you will be able to do. I want to encourage you to find an in-person event near you. Or if you like to travel, look for a powerful, impactful event that gives you the opportunity to connect with other leaders. And again, especially those that are not in your organization or your industry. If you're struggling to find events, create your own. There is nothing that's stopping you from doing it. Ask around to people that you are talking to in your community, right? You might find that the person at your local coffee shop or while you're out at a restaurant, they know an event that you might want to attend that's going to be a great fit for you. You'll be surprised at what you can find. We're at a time in the world where people are looking for that in-person connection. So if you're struggling to find an event that just fits right for you, create one of your own. And if you build it, people will come and they will show up and they will be grateful for you for creating that community for them. Connect with me as well. I'm happy to share any in-person events that I am aware of and helping you find those events that you think might be a great fit for you. I hope you are excited and looking forward to attending in-person events. And as excited as I am about it, I'm looking forward to the next one that I'm going to go to, and I can't wait to continue to connect in person with other leaders. I appreciate you tuning in this week, and I hope that you will tune in with me each week as we discuss strategies, development actions, and mindsets new leaders can leverage to step confidently into the right leadership roles for them. If you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, please do so today so you get a notification when a new episode is published. You can also join my email community where I will personally notify you when a new episode is released. Plus, I'll share with you some leadership insights you won't find anywhere else that are thoughtful, practical, and just for you. Check out the link in the show notes for more information or send me a message and I'm happy to send it your way. Until next time, my fellow leaders, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader that you are striving to be, and make the decision today to level up your leadership this year. Thanks for listening to A Leader's Journey podcast. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're excited to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in next week for another exciting leadership lesson. I'd love to help you level up your leadership, achieve the goals you desire, and design your unique leadership journey. So click the link in the show notes to schedule a free Level Up Your Leadership session. During this time, we will define where you are in several key areas of leadership, where you desire to be, and how you can level up your leadership. You don't need to do this alone, so let's chat today and get your journey started. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or in the A Leader's Journey community on Facebook, and share this episode with another leader so we can all learn and grow together. That's all for this episode, and I'll see you next week. Until then, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader you are striving to be, and make the decision today to level up your leadership this year.